Welcome to the Gym Success Podcast. I'm Bonnie.
And I'm George.
We're here for gym owners, operators, gym entrepreneurs, and personal trainers, basically. Anyone looking to cut through the noise.
Yeah, and get straight to actionable insights that can, really make a difference in your business.
And today, we're doing just that. We're diving into a white paper.
That's right. It's by jthomas. He's a gym business expert, and the paper's called The Profit-Boosting Power of 15-Minute Fitness Consults.
It's a really interesting piece, especially now with how competitive the fitness market is.
Definitely.
And Jim isn't suggesting like huge investments or complex tech.
No, not at all.
His whole point is that these short, structured 15-minute consults are more than just useful. He actually calls them an underrated gold mine.
Oh, gold line.
Yeah, he argues they could potentially be the single highest ROI activity your team performs.
Highest ROI. That's a pretty bold claim.
It is.
So, okay, our mission today is to unpack this paper. We want to understand why these quick consults are supposedly so powerful.
Right, and where in the member journey you can actually use them effectively.
And how exactly to structure them so you're not wasting time. We need that actionable blueprint.
Absolutely. This isn't just theory. It's about using what you already have your team, their knowledge, but with, structure and real intention.
Simple, scalable, and, well, if Jim's right, super effective.
Okay, let's get into it then. Why does he call these things fitness business accelerators? What makes them so impactful?
Well, the paper lays out a few key reasons. First, and maybe most obviously, they create instant value.
Instant value. How so?
Think about it, whether it's a prospect walking in or a member you haven't spoken to in a while, giving them that focused, personalized attention, even for just 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It immediately builds goodwill.
Right. You're not just selling, you're helping first. It changes the interaction.
Exactly. And that flows right into the second point. They build trust. Spending that dedicated time one-on-one, it establishes a connection. It positions your staff as knowledgeable guides.
Not just staff members, but experts.
Precisely. Not just the person at the front desk or the group instructor. And trust, as you know, is everything in this business.
Totally foundational.
And then there's the practical side. These consults give your team a genuine, non-salesy reason to follow up later.
Ah, okay. So it's not just, hey, want to join?
No, it's, hey, just following up on our chat the other day, here's that article I mentioned about mobility or whatever it was. It completely shifts the dynamic.
Yeah, I can see that. Much less pressure.
Way less. And here's where the profit-boosting part really comes in, according to the paper. They naturally uncover needs.
How does that work?
Well, during that conversation about their goals, their struggles, what they're frustrated with, opportunities for upsells just naturally surface.
Like personal training or maybe nutrition coaching?
Exactly. PT, nutrition, accountability programs. Yeah. Things the member or prospect basically tells you they need help with. You're not pushing it on them.
You're listening and then presenting a solution that fits what they just told you.
You got it. And for your current members, these check-ins are massive for retention. The paper really hammers this point, making members feel seen, heard, supported. It dramatically boosts their loyalty.
Keeping them engaged so they don't drift away.
Right. So it's this mix of relationship building, needs discovery, and, here's the kicker, the paper says it requires virtually zero overhead.
Just intention, a structure, and making it happen consistently.
It's really about making the most of the interactions you're probably already having or, should be having.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So the why is compelling, but the paper gives practical advice too, right? Where does jthomas say these consults fit best? Where in the journey?
Yeah, it outlines 4 key strategic spots to use them. The first one is super critical, new member onboarding.
Right at the very beginning. How does that look?
The paper recommends offering a 15-minute consult to every single new member, ideally within their first week.
First week, okay.
Yeah, the idea is to go deeper than the sign-up form. Clarify their real goals, recommend their best next steps in your facility, maybe a specific class series, an intro PT pack, an assessment.
Set expectations too, probably.
Absolutely. Set realistic expectations and start building that loyalty right away. And the paper claims this early, personalized engagement can significantly boost upgrade conversions later on.
Because you've guided them from day one. Makes sense. Proactive retention and sales, really.
You nailed it. Okay, second opportunity, prospect follow-up.
For the leads who didn't buy.
Exactly. We all have those, instead of the usual discount email or call.
Which often feels a bit desperate.
Right. The paper suggests offering pure value, something like, Hey, noticed you stopped by last week. I'd love to offer you a complimentary 15-minute coaching session. We can just chat about your goals, maybe offer some quick guidance. No strings attached.
Oh, I like that. You're shifting the offer from buy now to let us help you. That feels completely different. How does that change the follow-up dynamic?
It totally disarms the prospect. You're not calling to push the membership they already said no to, or at least hesitated on.
You're offering expertise.
Yes, you're offering value. It reopens the door in a really positive, non-threatening way. And it immediately positions your gym, your team, as helpful partners. It builds trust even before they pay you a dime. Powerful for lead nurturing.
Yeah, much better than another discount code. Okay, what about existing members? How do consults fit there?
That's the third area, mid-membership check-ins. The paper suggests setting up a system, maybe automated reminders through your CRM, to offer quarterly or maybe biannual progress consult.
Regular check-ins.
Yeah, this is gold for re-engaging members who might be getting inconsistent, or maybe they've hit a plateau and are feeling frustrated.
Catching them before they think about leaving.
Yeah, exactly. You can talk about new programs, refresh their goals, troubleshoot problems. Basically, prevent cancellations before they even become a thought. It's a deliberate, proactive retention play.
Not just crossing your fingers and hoping they stay.
Precisely. You're actively reaching out with value to keep them plugged in. And the fourth area, using these for referral generation.
Ah, interesting. How does that work?
That's pretty simple, actually. Create a low-friction offer, like, hey, bring a friend in for a free 15-minute fitness consult on us.
So the member does the initial introduction.
Right. They bring in someone who's already somewhat warm to your brand because they trust their friend. Your team member delivers a great, value-packed 15-minute consult.
And potentially gets a new lead.
Exactly. A qualified, engaged lead added right into your pipeline, often without spending any extra marketing dollars.
That's smart, using your happy members and a structured value offer. Okay, so onboarding, prospect follow-up, retention check-ins, referrals, that covers a lot of ground. But 15 minutes is tight. How do you actually cover what you need to? Is there a specific structure?
Yes, absolutely. The white paper gives a very clear, almost minute-by-minute structure to maximize that short time.
Okay, break it down for us. How do you start?
Minutes 1 to 3. Build rapport. This is crucial. Simple things. Smile, good eye contact, and importantly, if you can, sit side by side, not across a desk like an interview. It feels more collaborative.
That's confrontational.
Exactly. Ask friendly, open-ended questions. What brings you in today? Or what's one thing you'd really love to improve about your health right now? The goal is just to connect and get them talking comfortably.
Okay, warm them up. Then what?
Minutes 4 to 7. Identify the gap. This is active listening time. You dig into their current habits, what's working, what's not. Ask about past struggles, frustrations. What are their biggest roadblocks right now?
Finding their pain point.
Yes. You want to clearly define that gap between where they are now, the struggle, and where they want to be, the desired outcome they mentioned earlier. This clarifies the problem you can help solve.
Got it. Understanding the why behind their visit. How do you transition to providing value quickly?
Minutes 8 to 12. Provide value. Now, based specifically on that gap you just identified, you offer 1 or 2 simple, customized tips. This isn't generic stuff.
Tailored advice.
Exactly. You can even drop a quick, relevant success story from your gym. You know, Sarah felt the same way about finding time, and she found that our express classes, something relatable. Then, outline 1 or 2 clear options your gym offers that are the perfect next step for them. It's about showing them the solution path.
So, because you said X, here's Y from our gym that directly addresses it. Very targeted. And the last few minutes.
Minutes 13 to 15. Make the invitation. This is the transition to actions, not a hard sell. It's a simple, direct recommendation based on everything discussed. Okay, based on you needing more accountability, I really think our small group training program would be a great fit. It's designed for exactly that. Would you like me to introduce you to the coach?
Guiding them to the logical next step you've basically co-created.
Precisely. It feels natural, not forced.
That structure definitely makes 15 minutes seem manageable. It gives each part a purpose. And didn't the paper mention a pro tip about tracking these?
Oh yeah, vital. It stresses using a simple intake form or maybe a note in your CRM. It's not just paperwork.
Why is this so important?
Because you log the basics. Name, goals, what you recommended, the agreed follow-up. And here's where it gets really interesting. Tracking turns these potentially random chats into measurable steps. You can see who's doing consults, what recommendations lead to conversions, and make sure leads don't get lost.
Data. It makes the whole process systematic, not just anecdotal.
Exactly. It informs your strategy.
And the paper has proof this works, right? Real-world examples.
It does. 3 solid case studies showing the impact across different goals. First one, the upsell engine.
Okay, tell me about that one.
It was a boutique studio in Denver. They started doing these onboarding consults for every new member. Result: in just 60 days, they saw a 38% jump in personal training package sales.
38%. Just from adding that 15-minute chat at the start, that's huge.
Massive. And it wasn't just sales. Trainers felt more connected. Clients reported higher satisfaction. Win-win.
Wow. Okay, what's the second case?
The referral magnet. This is a gym down in Florida. They ran that like a friend for a 15-minute consult promo we talked about
How did that go?
pretty impressively. In just 1 month, they booked 27 of those guest consults, and 18 of those guests converted into paying members.
18 new members from friend referrals channeled through a consult. That's a great conversion rate.
Right. Shows the power of that low-barrier, high-value approach. Okay, third one, the retention booster.
Focused on keeping members?
Exactly. This was a larger club in California. They implemented quarterly check-in consoles for existing members. The result, over 1 year, a 14% improvement in their member retention rate.
14% improvement in retention is significant for any club's bottom line.
Absolutely. And members specifically mentioned feeling more cared for and engaged because of those regular touch points.
Okay, so sales, lead gen, and retention. These examples really drive home the point. It's not just theory. This structured conversation, this underrated goldmine, delivers tangible results across the board.
Yeah, it shows that investing just a little focused time can yield major returns, validating that core idea from Jim Thomas.
All right, so the why, the where, the how, and the proof all seem pretty solid. What are the final takeaways? The practical tips Jim Thomas gives for making this actually work day to day in a busy gym.
The paper outlines some critical success factors. Number 1, and it's probably the most important, train your team.
Can't just throw them into it.
Absolutely not. Don't just say, go do consults. You need to role play the structure, give them the blueprint we discussed, and train them specifically to coach and uncover needs, not just default to selling.
Got it. Proper training is key. What else?
Second, treat consults like appointments. Put them on the schedule. Use your booking software. Use the front desk calendar, whatever works. But block out that 15-minute slot and protect it.
Make it official so it doesn't get skipped.
Right. It signals priority. Third, we touched on this, but it bears repeating. Track outcomes. You have to log every consult. Who did it? Who was it with? What was recommended? What was the follow-up? And crucially, what happened next?
Did they buy? Did they refer? Did they stay?
Yes. That data is critical for seeing what's working, who's effective, and where you might need to tweak your training or approach. Without tracking, you're just guessing.
Can't manage what you don't measure. Makes sense. And the last tip.
Incentivize consults. Encourage and reward your staff for doing them well, especially for driving outcomes like PT sales, upgrades, or referrals from those consults.
How? Like bonuses or?
Could be anything. Recognition in meetings, a leaderboard, maybe small bonuses, gift cards. Aligning their incentives with this specific activity really focuses their effort. It shows it matters.
Right. You get what you reward. Okay, so summarizing the keys. Build the system, train the team well, track everything consistently, and incentivize the behavior.
That's the recipe according to the paper. Its main point is pretty powerful. Big growth doesn't always need complex, costly initiatives. Sometimes it's about consistently nailing the fundamentals, like building relationships and solving problems through these focused conversations.
It really deepens those connections, uncovers hidden revenue, boosts loyalty, builds that crucial trust with prospects and members alike.
And like Jim Thomas points out, the main cost is just time and training. So the potential ROI, it's hard to argue with. If you're not doing structured 15-minute consults, you're likely leaving money and opportunity on the table.
So implement the system, empower your team, track it all, and see the difference it makes.
Exactly. Across sales, retention, referrals, all the key areas.
All right, here's a final thought for everyone listening today, something to really chew on based on this. If dedicating just 15 focused minutes per interaction can genuinely move the needle on sales, referrals, and retention, what's the real cost to your business of not finding and making that time?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the paper does mention, if you're serious about this and want some help tailoring it to your specific gym, Jim Thomas offers further assistance.
Yes, you can reach out to Jim Thomas directly for guidance on building this kind of consult strategy effectively for your facility and your team. His number is 214-629-7223.
Or you can email him at jthomas@fmconsulting.net. That's jthomas@fmconsulting.net.
He can help you get started.
Well, thanks for joining us on the Gym Success Podcast for this look into Jim Thomas's white paper.
We really hope these insights give you some concrete actions you can take back to your gym business right away.